Welcome to The Explainer. So, today we are unpacking a really massive shift in the global economy. For decades, right, the world's richest people usually fit a very specific mold. We're talking oil tycoons extracting natural resources, Wall Street bankers, or, maybe tech founders building the latest social media networks. But a totally new paradigm is quietly emerging right before our eyes. We are witnessing the undeniable rise of the scientific billionaire. And let me tell you, the entire landscape of global capital is completely transforming because of it. Okay, let's dive into this. $8.4 billion. Just take a second to really process the sheer scale of that number. To put it into perspective, if you were to spend $1 million every single day, it would still take you over 23 years to run out of money. It is an absolutely staggering net worth. But what makes this figure so fascinating isn't just the size of it. It's what this specific fortune signals for the future of wealth. This $8.4 billion is a massive, massive disruptor.
Which brings us to a really compelling question. Who is Los Angeles' newest, richest resident? When you think of LA wealth, your mind probably jumps straight to Hollywood moguls producing blockbusters, or maybe real estate developers, or even inherited dynastic fortunes. Unseating those traditional titans to hold the absolute top spot in one of the wealthiest cities on Earth? Yeah, that is no small feat. It requires a completely different kind of genius, one that definitely doesn't rely on box office hits or real estate flips.
Section 1. The new King of LA. So, allow me to formally introduce Dr. Patrick Soon-Shiong, who, according to recent rankings, has officially emerged as the wealthiest individual in Los Angeles. But before we get lost in the economics of it all, let's ground this in a truly remarkable human story. He was born in Port Elizabeth, which is now known as Gqeberha, in South Africa, and he actually graduated as a doctor from the University of the Witwatersrand at just 23 years old. This wasn't someone who started on third base in the American corporate world, right? This is a super inspiring story of a brilliant mind crossing borders, and it really highlights the incredible international reach of South African human capital. Section 2. A breakthrough worth billions. So how exactly does a medical graduate from South Africa build an $8.4 billion fortune? Well, we can trace his trajectory, and this brilliantly illustrates exactly how scientific research translates into massive capital. It starts with those early university years in South Africa, followed by a totally pivotal emigration to North America. Once there, he completely immersed himself in complex surgery and medical research. But the real inflection point? That was his leap into biotechnology entrepreneurship. He didn't just stay in the operating room. He recognized a massive gap between clinical practice and market solutions, which ultimately culminated in the year 2010 with the $3 billion sale of his company, Abraxis BioScience. You see, his fortune wasn't inherited. And actually, scratch that, it wasn't some lucky speculative gamble either. It was built entirely on the commercialization of his very own intellectual property, specifically the development of Abraxane. To understand why this was such a game changer, you have to look at the science. Instead of traditional chemotherapy that just kind of attacks the whole body, he helped pioneer a method using nanoparticles to deliver cancer-fighting drugs directly to the tumor. It became a literally life-saving treatment for breast, lung, and pancreatic cancers. He built his wealth by advancing human health. And that, right there, is a foundational shift in the origins of ultra-wealth. Section 3. Expanding the empire. Now, once you have that initial massive capital event, the whole game changes. A modern family office ecosystem is brilliantly diversified. It isn't just some boring collection of passive index funds. Dr. Soon-Shiong actively controls healthcare businesses under NantWorks and Immunity Bio. But then, he strategically branches out. He acquires the Los Angeles Times for media presence, he grabs a minority stake in the Los Angeles Lakers, and he pours heavy resources into artificial intelligence and telecom infrastructure. Now, what's really interesting about this ecosystem portfolio is, why buy a newspaper and a sports team alongside biotech? Well, it's about influence. It's about securing massive data streams, and it's about anchoring yourself deeply into the cultural and civic fabric of a community. When we look at the strategic focus of this capital deployment, it paints a really clear picture for the future. The investments center strictly around medical innovation, data infrastructure, advanced computing, and precision healthcare. This isn't just about trying to make a quick return for the next quarter. No way. This is highly strategic, future-proofed investing. By operating right at that intersection of biology and advanced technology, this entire ecosystem is laying the groundwork for the next era of human advancement. Section 4. The new wealth paradigm. So the crucial point is the direct contrast between the old guard of wealth and this brand new data-driven class of billionaires. Historically, traditional wealth meant inheritance, extracting physical natural resources from the earth, or just dominating legacy manufacturing industries. But today, a completely different reality is taking hold. Scientific entrepreneurs are rooting their fortunes in intellectual property, artificial intelligence applications, and breakthrough healthcare innovation. It is a fundamental, ground-up shift in what the global market values most. Analyst Alexander Voss, who actively tracks the movement of ultra-wealth, actually puts it perfectly. He notes, and I quote, "The next generation of billionaire wealth may be built less on natural resources and more on ownership of breakthrough technologies, patents, and data-driven healthcare platforms." I mean, that absolutely hammers home the macroeconomic shift we're discussing here. The Earth's physical resources are finite, for sure, but the ceiling for intellectual property and human innovation, that is entirely limitless. And, we definitely can't ignore the geopolitical angle of this shift either. South Africa remains Africa's largest millionaire market, even despite recent trends of immigration among high-net-worth individuals. Dr. Soon-Shiong's ascent is literally a perfect case study of what happens when that domestic talent goes global. It proves that globally competitive entrepreneurial talent, especially the kind equipped with the scientific rigor to reshape entire industries, is for sure one of the most powerful and enduring exports a nation can ever produce. So, synthesizing all of this, let's move to and see how this builds into a very clear three-step blueprint for the future of global capital. Step 1, capital is increasingly concentrating around intellectual property and scientific innovation, rather than just physical assets. Step 2, demand is aggressively accelerating for AI and personalized medicine. And Step 3, modern wealth is moving way beyond traditional portfolios to build interconnected ecosystems that generate long-term strategic value. This right here is the blueprint for the modern dynasty. I want to leave you all with this final kind of provocative thought. If the future of wealth truly belongs to those who control healthcare, advanced computing, and massive sets of data, who will be tomorrow's billionaires? The titans of the next century might not be building factories or drilling for oil. They will likely be curing diseases and writing world-changing algorithms. It just completely changes how we think about the future of innovation. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this sparked your curiosity as much as it did mine. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.